Hello guys, and welcome to another ranking. Today we're looking at the top 10 best Nerf blasters ever made. If you do not know my channel, I do many ranking videos. Elite, Rebel, I've done everything. Now I'm doing top 10s. Take a look at my channel if you like it, but let's just get into the video. This is the top 10 best Nerf blasters of all time, in my opinion. Starting out at number 10. It's number 10 because it is so fun. Like, if you get your hands on one with a rocket, it's really fun. And even if not, the air tank is just so well known. And, like, find one of these at their store, you have to pick it up just because of its air tank. It is the Titan. The Nerf Titan is a blaster that came out a long time ago in Nerf N-Strike. If anyone's still that old who remembers N-Strike, to say the least. But N-Strike is awesome because N-Strike also gave us this, the Titan. The Titan is an air blaster that you use the back of it to pump it up. You put a massive Titan rocket. Pretty sure still to this day the Nerf's biggest ammo. And you fire that thing about... It was not weak either. It's fired about 30 feet, and that thing would take a wind out of a small child. Like, this thing was crazy, and it's still one of the most powerful Nerf blasters ever made if you modify it. It is the GOAT. It is the Titan. It is so fun. There's just no competing with it. That's 10. Moving on to number 9. Number 9 is the Artemis, the first of many rival blasters on this list. I must admit, there are a few rival blasters because rival is just better, honestly. The Artemis holds 30 rounds, is pump action, slam fire. It is one of the perfect spring blasters. 30 rounds is onboard capacity, easy to reload. Pump action, it's just a go-to. It's awesome. If you need a stock blaster, it doesn't get a lot better than the Artemis. Like, this thing works. It works well. It's comfy. The only issue with it, which I fixed on mine, is I don't like the pump grip. I made mine a shotgun pump grip, personally. But that is the only issue I have with this blaster at all. And with that, let's move on to number 8. Number 8. This was a hard choice between the Artemis and the Nemesis, but I went with the Nemesis. At number 8 is the rival Nemesis. When this thing came out, it was the pinnacle of what Nerf honestly was, and people were scared when people brought Nemesises to battles. Now we have things that completely destroy it, and now the Nemesis is kind of on the back burner at this point. But you can't deny it is an amazing blaster. It holds 100 rounds of onboard capacity, easy to reload, just dump more balls into it. It fires not that fast. It's only like 3 or 4 balls a second, but 3 or 4 balls a second in 100 round capacity works pretty dang well. It's very comfy. If you do not know, this is an electric blaster, so 3 to 4 rounds a second in an electric blaster is not bad whatsoever. The stock's comfy. It's very big and bulky, but this thing is just a very comfy and ergonomic blaster. Nerf did well when the Nemesis was out. Like, this thing is just sheer force of just dumping rounds downrange. It has been taken over by better blasters, which are still on this list. But number 8 for the Nemesis is not bad whatsoever. Moving on to number 7. Number 7, the Sweet Revenge. Pretty much the upgrade of the Hammer Shot. You do not know, the Sweet Revenge is honestly one of the, or not, if not the best pistol in the Nerf hobby. Well, in Nerf, the Nerf little, Nerf in general. But I can understand if you're going to fight me on it. But the Sweet Revenge is just a better ergonomic hammer shot. They released it recently in a Ninja Turtle skin, so you can buy it still. And 5 rounds of hammer action, hitting around 60 FPS, is not bad at all, in my opinion. That's a good pistol. Very comfy handle. And honestly, for a sidearm, One-handed, wieldable, still can hold your main. Works pretty dang well in my opinion. Moving on to number 6. Number 6 is the better nemesis, is the Perseus. The Perseus dumps rounds, also full auto. Dumps rounds at 8 rounds a second, just sheer force, good ergonomics. Issue with this guy? Well, also, this guy comes with a rechargeable battery pack that the Nemesis did not. That was the issue with the Nemesis. Fixed it with this guy. Very nice, very comfy. Only issue with this thing is that trigger is a little bit thin, so it doesn't feel great on the hand. But everything else is perfect ergonomics. This is a better stock than the Nemesis, and it just feels nice. But the issue is this thing only holds 50 rounds, and it just goes through 50 rounds in a matter of seconds, honestly. And the reload is honestly not fun, just how thin the actual place to load the balls is. But overall, the Perseus is the better blaster. You can buy something to put on top to make it the perfect blaster, and the Perseus completely said goodbye to the Nemesis, and Nemesises are probably, at least at my wars, have been wiped from existence, but there's still some Perseus here and there. So the Perseus claims its spot at number 6. Moving on to number 5. Number 5. People may not know this one. People don't care about Vortex because it died 2 times now. But the Revonix 360 is the perfect Vortex blaster, to be honest. Holds about 35 discs. Easy reloading. You just pop them in those little slots. You turn the massive drum, and it takes a disc from sideways to straight with its pump action. And this thing's pump action is so good, it can compete with electric blasters. Not joking. And just because the power of the discs, you can bounce off walls and stuff, but the Revonix 360 just has so much firepower, was honestly, it deserves more credit than it got. It just is a complete, it just dumps rounds, issues it could break. I have one that works, and honestly, I have never once bothered me. It never once jammed. It is an amazing, amazing blaster. Easy reloading, even easier than a rival blaster, to be honest. Just you throw some in that slot, spin the massive drum, and fire away. This thing also has slam fire. This is a Springer. And with that, the Revonix 360, in my opinion, takes number 5. On to number 4. The Alpha Trooper, of course. The Alpha Trooper, you can't deny, is known as the greatest pump action blaster in all of history. This thing was a titan. It ruled over what is it? The zombie game mode. I forget the name of it. Damn. Well, the zombie nerf. I wish I remembered the name of it. But this thing is crazy. You still see it to this day, and it is still amazing sidearm. Yes, is the power no longer on the level that we are now? Yes, but just because pump action, magazine fed, stock attachment point, put whatever you want, very nice pump action, slam fire, anything you would need, this thing could do it. And this thing is crazy for zombie battles. And still to this day is a blaster that has not been dethroned for zombie battles. This thing is still seen all over the place. So that claims a spot at number 4 just because how dominant it is and how it still has not left the hobby in its entirety. Moving on to number 3, the Prometheus. Say what you will. I'm sorry, but the stock Perseus, just the loading, how you have to load it, just doesn't work that well. This thing, just as good, dumps still 8 rounds a second with a 200 round hopper, and you just spray and pray with this thing. I don't care what anyone says. At my battles, I have seen a 4-year-old girl take the field with this thing, and completely dominate, and it took me and another sniper to take her out over and over again, because if not, she ruled the battlefield. As long as you have ammo, as long as you have capacity, this thing is dominant. You can even buy a kit for it to make it 1,000 rounds, which is crazy. And the handles, it works well. This is the Nerf perfect minigun, in my opinion. No minigun comes close. This thing is crazy. It's awesome. The only issue is the amount of money you have to spend to load this guy. And it has a rechargeable battery pack. The handles are comfy. How it works might take a little second to get used to. But if you pull that bomb trigger, it revs, top trigger, you let loose and you send rounds downrange. This is the true titan of just sending balls downrange, in my opinion. So the Prometheus takes number 3. Now we move on to number 2. Of course, it was everywhere. It's still dominant. It's still everywhere. The Nerf Strife comes in at number 2. Do I have to explain anything? It is the perfect flywheel blaster. Small, compact, can do whatever you want into it because all the worker parts, everything. Have this thing hitting 60 FPS all the way up to 250 FPS. Small, compact, able to do whatever you want with it. Perfect starting shell. And the Strife, still, you see it all over the place to this day. But what could possibly be number 1? Well, in my opinion, it's the only good Nerf Pro blaster, which is the Pro Strife X. Just to let you know, guys, this blaster disappeared off the map a little bit ago. It has made a return, and it's back on Amazon. This is just if you want a Strife, but do nothing to it. This thing hits 150, half dart, stock attachment point. Still, the Strife, just better. But if you modified a normal Strife, you could make it better than this one. But this one is just the best thing on the market, and is the best Nerf blaster Nerf has ever made, in my opinion. It just packs a punch, it does what it needs to do, and still in the Nerf, great thing, it has a rechargeable battery pack. And with that, the semi-auto Strife claims its spot as 1 and 2. And this list will probably be destroyed in the comments, but this is my personal list. Thank you guys so much for taking your time and taking a look at this video. Hope you look at more of my videos, and hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.